Oh, it's so nice, look at this. Yes, I've eventually got the HW100 KT coming up for review right now. Hello YouTubers, it's Steve here aka Catalogue, and welcome to the channel. On this channel we do a lot of air rifle reviews as well as technology reviews, so if you start to like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and leave some comments. But yes, eventually I have managed to get hold of the HW100. Yep. Everybody's been telling me, get a hold of one of those. It's one of the best PCPs out there. Everybody says it's a cracking rifle, and I've eventually got one. Thank you to one of my subscribers, Martin. I hope you're enjoying the cricket that I lent you for 3 weeks while I have your baby. But just look at this little baby. It is absolutely cute. Let's spin it around to this camera. Look at that. Yeah, let's take a few moments just to look and be in awe of that gorgeousness. Yeah. Now, this is the HW100 KT, as we said. The T stands for the thumb hole, and the K being short barrel or carbine, German pronunciation, German spelling of it, hence the KT. Now, you can get the HW100 in all sorts of formats. Without the thumb hole, with standard stocks, with adjustable stocks, in carbine, in non-carbine, longer barrels. FAC, 12 foot-pound and lower as well, depending where you get them from. And they can vary massively in prices, obviously from new to second hand, also in the different variants, anywhere from probably 600 up into the £1,000 region. I think this particular model, if Martin told me right, was around the £700 to £800 mark. I can't quite remember. But yeah, this is an absolute cracking rifle. And like we said, this is the KT version, and it also sort of, sometimes you'll see it under the special edition version because of the laminate stock on it and the fact that it's got the adjustable cheek pieces and butt pieces on the end of it as well. But it is a really cracking little rifle. Now, you can get the HW100 in 177, .20 and .22 calibers, and of course, like I said, you can get them in all the different variants with the different power ratings on them as well. So let me give you a few specs about this particular rifle, because I know some of you guys really like them. I'll just move over here so we can put it down the side. But on this particular rifle, we're looking at a barrel length of 310 millimeters, an overall length without the modifier on here of 880 millimeters, and a weight, and it's a bit difficult to work this out. I'm not going to strip down Martin's rifle, but it's about the 3 kilogram mark without a scope on it or any additional accessories on the actual rifle itself. Now, we said it is a PCP rifle, multi-shot, so it comes with 2 magazines, and they are the standard all one-piece metal magazines. A really nice system, a system that I absolutely love. No messing around with those silly dials and fiddly things and rattling, none of that. Just literally slot your pellets into the magazine and you're good to go. 2 of them come with it as well as the fill probe, which we'll show you later on as well on there. So, as always, let's go through the actual rifle and talk about it from front to back and go through all of the details on it. So at the back here we have a standard rubberized butt plate, but this butt plate can be lifted up and down. It can't be tilted, it's not a full 3D one, but it's adequate, it does the job and can be lifted up and down. Now, with this variant being the special type one, we also have an adjustable cheek piece here. There's a couple of Allen key holes in here. This whole section can be lifted up and down to suit your shooting style. So this is actually set up just perfect for me, just rests nicely. Now, the actual stock itself is titled as being an ambidextrous stock, left and right handers. However, this being a PCP and multi-shot actually has its cocking mechanism, which is a lever on the right hand side. So you cannot move that around. So you are stuck with that cocking mechanism being that side. So bear that in mind if you're a left shooter. And we'll just fire that off. There's nothing in this at all, it's empty. We'll just fire that off now. Now, We do have the typical Weihrauch little grooves here, so that's really nice to get your thumb in there. Really, really nice, and I like that's on both sides as well. And as we said, with this stock itself is a laminate stock. Really, really nice. I was always dubious about them when I saw them until I actually got one in the flesh, and I think this is an absolutely stunning stock on it. Really, really nice. It's got some stippling around here, around the pistol grip. It's really nice and comfortable to fire and to hold. It just fits there really nice. Real good, and does give you a lot of confidence with it as well. Up the top we have a standard 11mm dovetail mount for you to put your scope on there. There's no iron sights on this rifle itself, but you can accommodate pretty much any scope on there as well. And then we'll come down to the meat of it all. Now I'm going to talk about this while I play a bit of B-roll, because this has got to be one of the best loading and cocking mechanisms I have ever seen on a rifle that I've had the privilege to play with. It is just absolutely sublime. I just love the way that the cocking lever is literally just finger operated. You just literally touch it and it almost does it on its own. You just pull it out. Let me just do that here, and I'll just pull it out and it just flips out on its own, and then you just literally pull it back to, we'll do that again because of a bit too much. We'll pull it back and then hear that click? That's it cocked, and then squeeze, and it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And like I said, I was playing some B-roll there, hopefully that you got to see. The loading of the magazine is sublime. It's almost as if there's a magnet that just drags that magazine in. No chance of messing it around. The amount of times I've reviewed rifles and I've messed around with getting them to load, getting them to work properly, having to learn how to do it in the way that it wants. It just works, and I wish all rifle systems were the same, all loading systems the same. Another nice feature that they don't talk about much is there is an anti-double load system. In other words, you cannot push 2 pellets in the barrel at the same time. Really nice, and I wish more manufacturers, I think Daystate do that as well. Up here we do have a safety catch that is fully adjustable, so a safety catch that you can actually switch on and off as you want. You do need a magazine in there to do it, but you can do it this way as well. But it does make quite a good click on there, and there's nice markings, but it's a nice simple place for you to do that. So there's your actual loading mechanism for the magazines, the cocking lever and the safety catch there. Brings us down to the trigger. The trigger is probably one of the best triggers. You know, my personal favourite trigger is the cricket trigger because of the nice big thick blade. It's so soft. This is so close to that. There is this beautiful first stage, you can just feel it there, and it's just crisp. Absolutely crisp. Gives you all the confidence you need. First stage, it's nice. And of course, being Weihrauch, it is fully adjustable and recoilless as well. So let's move up the rifle. We've got the barrel obviously up here. There is a barrel clip here, which personally I don't like. I think it detracts from the looks of the rifle. And then on this rifle itself, it's actually had a HW modifier on there, and that's a screw on, screw off. And if you're thinking about getting one of these, then seriously, do get the HR modifier or a good equivalent Huggets or something like that. A lot of people will use. Let me show you the difference that it makes. Okay, and we can definitely hear that difference with and without that on there. So, you know, it is definitely worth doing. You'll find that a lot of these rifles will come with these moderators already fitted, Weihrauch standard ones. Obviously it's going to cost a little bit extra to do that. Underneath here then, we then have the cylinder itself. It is not a huge capacity cylinder at all, nowhere near it. And again, I'll leave some B-roll for you to see how to load it all up. But let's talk about shot count while that B-roll's running. Basically on a 200 bar fill, now I'm going to quote the figures from Weihrauch themselves. They're saying 177 with this particular carbine version, the shortened version, you're looking at 50 shots. That's not a lot. That goes up to 70 for 2.0 and 75 shots for 2.2. So bear that in mind, this rifle is not a large shot count. It is regulated though. A lot of people say that the HW100 is not regulated because it doesn't have a separate regulator. Weihrauch use a different system. I won't go into technicalities of it. I might leave a link down below if you're really that bothered about it. But it has its own separate system, but it's not an isolated regulator in it. But it is regulated. And that does give you that flat power curve, consistent shots on there. To fill it, like I said, you've probably seen the B-roll already, but you know, this is one thing that's a bit weird about them, is literally there's this little dust cap probe cylinder thing. You take that out and you keep that safe. You put your fill probe in. Now your fill probe comes with the rifle, and there it is. The fill probe just slots in like so. You fill it up to 200 bar, it's quite a quick fill, and then literally you put your cap back in. Yeah, it's different, isn't it? Yeah, I can see that getting lost, and I bet there's quite a few spares sold of those. Moving around the stock itself, this one's had a Harris type bipod fitted on it, but there's not a lot more else to it other than the absolute sheer beautiful looks of this rifle. I think it is fantastic, fantastic looking rifle. So I think we've been through it all. Trigger, safety catch, cocking mechanism. The one thing I didn't mention here is there's the magazine catch there. There's a little catch there. So once you put your magazine in, you push that catch forward and then you're ready to go. Now that wasn't cocked. There we go, hear that little click? Super, absolutely sweet. I do, yeah, nice and simple. So, that's the actual overview of the Weihrauch HW100, obviously this being the KT version. So I was super excited to have a play with it. I haven't had that much time, so we do a usual thing. I took it into the garden, we stuck it at 25 meters, used the pellets the only pellets I've got because I generally don't shoot 177, and see how we get on. Let's run that footage and then we'll come back as usual. Yeah, we're outside, spring's here, beautiful, beautiful day, and we're outside with the HW100. And we're going to do our usual grouping test. The light's playing havoc. Hopefully this camera's going to pick it up in auto mode for you. But basically we're going to do 3 pellets, obviously, in 177. We're going to do the AAs, Diablos, we're going to do the JSB Exacts and some H&Ns. 14 shot magazine. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to fill it up to 200 bar. I'm going to put 1 magazine through just to line the barrel, let everything settle down, and then we'll do the real grouping at 14 shots, and we'll see how we get on. I've got great expectations of this rifle. If it shoots as good as it looks, I'm going to be impressed. Okay, so now it's time for the AA Diablo Field Sports. Now for the JSB Exacts. Oh, I do like this loading mechanism, so easy. Okay, so now it's time for the H&Ns, see how these do. Oh, that was fun. Let's go and see how we've done and come back. So, how did we get on? Well, not too bad actually, not too bad at all. And you probably saw in the video, they're the JSB Exacts. Not too bad at all. You know, I'm still getting used to the rifle, and I'm not a cracking shot, as you know. Many people have told me that. These are the AAs, and I think they actually worked out the best. Now, most of these, yeah, there's 14 shots in each one of these. There's a couple of flyers by me, and I didn't sort the pellets. I just picked them out, made sure they were okay, and threw them in. Nothing weighed or anything like that. And it was a little bit gusty wind as well. And then what else we got? And then we got the H&Ns as well. So those are the pellets, but they all performed pretty damn good. Now, the owner of the rifle, Martin, says that the AAs generally are pretty good. And I did do some extra shooting off camera as well, and I managed to get those groupings a lot tighter when I took my time, got used to the rifle and concentrated out on it. And of course, they do spread out a bit over great distances, as you would expect, but the regulation in the rifle does work very well. And I was getting around the 50 to 60 shots on there before I started going into the yellow on the fill gauge. So overall impressions of the accuracy of the rifle, yeah, it is a very, very nice and it's a very accurate rifle. It certainly shoots better than I do. I'll give you that, you know, and as I got more and more used to the rifle, I was getting much, much better, tighter groups and over longer distances as well. It's certainly not the top most accurate rifle out there, no. I would say compared to my caliber cricket, it is not as accurate as my caliber cricket, but it's not that far off. So you're spending the money on this, then yeah, you are getting an accurate rifle. And in the right hands with a lot of practice, I am sure you will not be disappointed at all. So let's go into some pros and some cons, like I always do with the rifle. First off is the stupid elephant in the room, the drop dead, in my eyes, gorgeous looks of this rifle. Look at that. It is just, take a moment again. It is just nice. Personally, I wasn't sure about laminated stocks, but you know what, when it's got all of these bells and the whistles on it, I think it is an absolutely cracking looking rifle on it as well. The other thing I've harped on about it, I've even put a B-roll, the actual loading mechanism, the cocking mechanism, it's just the best, absolute, without doubt, of all the rifles that I've reviewed, it is the best one out there for that. You can certainly tell the German engineering, the quality in there, you will not go wrong. I love the fact that they give you 2 magazines, they're the simple style magazines, none of that messing around trying to load and rattling magazines or anything like that. No, none of that, it just works. It's the way that they should always be with them. That does actually bring me on to a bit of a bad point, and that is the shot count. It is disappointingly low. It's 50 shots. Yeah, realistically, you're 177, then you got to fill it up. So it's great if you're doing hunting, or you're doing a bit of HFT work, but if you're outside garden plinking, you're going to be doing quite a bit of shooting, you know, then you are going to be needing to fill this thing up. And I certainly recommend you get a proper diving bottle method of filling up, and don't use a stirrup pump. Otherwise, you're going to end up with arms like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You certainly will. So yeah, that is a downside of this rifle. Be aware of that. Now that shot count does go up with some of the other variants of the rifle, but then obviously you're not got the carbine, you've got a longer and a potentially heavier rifle as well. So just be aware of that. The quality of the rifle is a massive, massive plus. It goes on with the looks. The quality hits the looks as well. Absolutely. I've been looking over this rifle all of it, even down to the fine lettering that they have on the rifle. It's just absolutely beautiful. It is really nice. I can't find a blemish on this rifle, and it is certainly a cracking buy that Martin got there. And I'm just amazed he's let me borrow it, because yeah, this is a pride and a joy. The trigger is gotta be, again, one of the best triggers that I've actually seen and used as well. Again, it's on a par to my cricket, which I just love that trigger because it's just so crisp and wide and bladed. It is not a wide bladed trigger. I would have liked it to be a wider bladed trigger, but you know what? It does its job. The first stage is perfect. The second stage, hardly any pull pressure. It gives you the confidence, and of course, it's fully adjustable if you do want to change that. The safety catch. I like the fact that the safety catch is there, it's in the right place, but it's noisy. Very, very noisy. It's a good, definite, you can hear that going there. That is a lot of noise that it makes. So yeah, that's a bit of a downside with the safety catch, but you know what, I think most people will probably just leave it off. That's what most people do. I like the fact that it's got anti-double load on it as well. Absolutely perfect, you know. And again, I'll use my cricket as an example there, but it's too easy to double load that. And there's a lot of rifles out there that you've forgotten. You're in the garden, you're messing around, you're doing your shooting, something happens, you stop, and then it's, did I load that or not? You can't do that with this. It is really, really nice. Another downside with it, I would definitely say, would be the fact that even though it's marked as ambidextrous, if you're a left-hander, you cannot move this lever out of the way. Even how good this lever is, you can't do that. So just watch out for that. Its price, yeah, okay, you are paying top dollar for this rifle, absolute top dollar, but you are receiving top quality, top dollar actual rifle and accuracy to boot. So it's not a cheap rifle. you're getting what you pay for with it. As with all Weihrauchs, you know, they are this is why they're so popular here, absolutely, end of the day. So you might struggle to find one within your price range, but have a look around, persist, or save up for one, because it is certainly well worth it. And what else? I've got a few notes down here. Magazines, yeah, looks and the finish, absolutely all of it is really good. The shot count, I think that's basically there's one other thing. Yeah, personally I don't like this clip here, this barrel clip. It's not a free floating barrel. I don't know if that's going to alter the accuracy and send vibrations through, hence the reason for free floating barrels. It would be nice if it wasn't there. I personally think it detracts from the looks, but apart from that, yeah, I'm nitpicking now. I'm really nitpicking. So would I recommend this rifle? Well, definitely. If you've got the money for the looks, the accuracy, yeah, it is definitely worth it. If not the carbine version, because you're worried about the shot count, then maybe go for the actual non-carbine version, which gives you higher shot counts. But certainly well worth the money, and of course you're getting the German engineering and the accuracy to go with it. It's got a few downsides, yeah, one of them being, you know, this silly little probe thing up here, which I can see being lost. But yeah, overall, definitely worth it. So, as always, if you like this video or you've not been here before, then I'll just move to one side and I'll just highlight some of the links here so that you can subscribe. Don't forget to like, comment. There's also the Weihrauch HW100 Springer that I did, the KT version, which should be linked up here as well, and some others down there. Don't forget to check out the playlists and tell me, what do you think of the HW100? You guys have been asking me to do a review on it. Everyone reckons it's a great rifle, so I'd be really interested to know what your comments and your recommendations, or anything that I've got wrong or missed. Just list them down below as usual, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.